My dear people of Ondo State, it is indeed with a profound sense of gratitude to God Almighty that I address you today in commemoration of the 40th anniversary of the creation of our dear state. Let me congratulate all Ondo State indigents for being worthy partakers of a heritage of honor, hard work, and self-assuredness. These are the legacy and attributes bequeathed to us through our nativity in this state. The area historically known as Ondo Province constituted a geographically contiguous territory bounded in the north by the old Kwara State, in the east by the former Midwest State, in the south by the Atlantic Seaboard, and in the west by the Oyo and Ijebu provinces. During the colonial era, the territory which was created as Ondo State was administered as one province under a residency with the administrative headquarters at Akure. The post-independence tripolar structure of Nigeria, which consisted of northern, eastern, and western regional governments, fueled suspicions of marginalization in the minority tribes and induced fears of domination, which invariably led to a civil war in 1967, soon after Nigeria's second military coup of July 1966. Since the 12th state structure of Nigeria, worked out by the Goa administration on May 27, 1967, failed to allay the fears of ethnic domination and restructure in the country, the succeeding General Murtala Mohammed military government, on the basis of Justice Ayo Irikefe panel's recommendations, further divided the western state into Ogun, Oyo, and Ondo states on February 3, 1976. I do not think there is any better way to capture the historical essence of our 40-year-old journey than to start by paying tribute to our leaders, past and present, whose serial exertions, agitation, and movement led to the creation of Ondo State. On behalf of the people of Ondo State, I salute the courage, industry, steadfastness, and commitment of members of the Ondo provincial movement under the chairmanship of late Chief G.B.A. Akinyede and the secretary, late Mr. Deji Adegoroye. This was the organization to which 10 representatives from the administrative divisions were nominated to pursue the creation of Ondo State. The group had its maiden meeting on the grounds of Omolere Nursery Primary School in Akure on November 11, 1973, and thereafter worked tirelessly to mobilize resources and galvanize the people of the old Ondo province until the state was created on February 3, 1976. I acknowledge the efforts of many of them that had passed on to the great beyond and wish them eternal rest. Let me also appreciate some of them that are still alive. They are Oba S.K.A. Adedoyin, the Owale of Ikare, Chief Ruben Fashionati, Prince Oluadeyemi Bashorun Sende Arugbofa, Chief Blessing Kayode, Professor David Ijalaye, and Mr. Are Olagunju. May the good Lord continue to keep them in good health and sound mind. Also, we should acknowledge the invaluable contributions of Chief Olufalaye, Princess Fayade Sanoye, then Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Defense, and later the Oshemawe of Ondo, late General Alfred Aduloju, late Lieutenant Akintunde Akinseyinwa, ADC to late General Murtala Mohammed, and late Chief Olu Akinfosile, and late Chief Akindeko. The core dream of our founding fathers was to ensure that Ondo State achieve a development trajectory that will be in consonance with the state's vast human and natural resources within the federal system of government. Our founding fathers wanted to bring development nearer to the people. Before the oil boom of the 70s, Ondo province had consistently contributed enormously to the economy of the now defunct Western state. Archival records show that of cocoa we produced 48.3% in 1969-70, 49.1% in 1970-71, and 47.3% in 1971-72. Of oil palm, we produced 68.1% in 1968, 78.3% in 1970, and 57.4% in 1971. Of timber, we produced 67.7% in 1967, 44.3% in 1968, and 61.9% in 1969. However, at the point of creation, not much could be pointed to as evidence of commensurate infrastructural intervention by successive governments of the defunct Western state, despite, again, the immense contributions of Ondo province. In any case, the viability of Ondo state had never been in doubt. The beginning of Ondo state, particularly in the setting up of its public service and government structure, was like any other beginning, that is, lacking in most of the basic essentials of administrative takeoff. In fact, personnel from Ibadan, the Aswa capital of the defunct Western state, were deployed to give Ondo state its base of administrative staff. However, from being an agglomeration of single-digit ministries at its creation in 1976, whose rented offices were scattered all over Akure, Ondo, Ado-Ekiti, and other towns under the pioneer governor, Wing Commander Ita David Ikpeme, Ondo state government has metamorphosed into a much bigger institution of 22 ministries, 24 agencies, and several commissions, with the attendant explosion in staff and personnel. From a modest beginning at Ukeda, in Akure, which served as the seat of government, the pioneer administration of David Ikpeme commenced in 1978 the construction of the state secretariat at Alagbaka. Not only this, indigenes of the newly created Ondo state, who were hitherto civil servants in different parts of Western region, relocated to the state to form the bulk of the workforce in the state public service. We therefore acknowledge the ingenuity of the pioneer technocrats who worked quickly established governance structures in borrowed school building, houses, and makeshift structures. Several of them shuttled daily from other towns like Owo, Ondo, Ikere, and Ado-Ekiti, and so on to their offices. We pay glowing tribute to the pioneer secretary to the military government and head of service, Chief Theophilus Iwajoma, and his successor, Chief E.A. Emuleomo, both of blessed memory, for their efforts and initiatives attain a solid foundation for the Ondo State public service. We also appreciate the crop of permanent secretaries and public servants that relocated from Ibadan, as well as those that joined the service at that early stage for their sacrifices and contributions. The civil populace was accommodating, making several sacrifices, and calmly bearing the dislocation and demolition of structure that were required in order to build a modern state. The artisans, market women, taxi drivers, farmers, everyone played memorable roles at the formative stages of this state. So also do we appreciate our traditional institutions and religious leaders who galvanized their people to rally around government at that critical time. In the intervening 40 years since the creation of our dear state, we have had a checkered history of governance, having been ruled by 11 military officers out of the 16 governors to have presided over the affairs of this state. Be that as it may, military governance of the state only accounts for roughly 16 years, while the regimes of the 5 democratically elected governors made up the remaining 24 years of our history. In addition to the deficit in democratic dividends caused by the inappropriateness of military incursion into civilian governance, the excessive turnover in the number of military governors caused a lot of policy inconsistencies which were disruptive of long-term planning and development. Nevertheless, rapid socio-economic development was soon to follow the state creation as successive administrations and placed the necessary infrastructure and social amenities, improved agriculture, developed education and health services, established mass media outlets, added value to the public service, and among other things, created employment and strived to industrialize the state. Thereafter, commercial activities took root and began to thrive. The magnetic allure of our resource potentials, especially in rock-based minerals, oil and gas, tourism, as well as human resources, continue to increase as more and more people flooded Ondo State, thus beginning our journey from a province to a place of pride. On October 1, 1996, Ekiti State was carved out of the old Ondo State, thus giving birth to a new Ondo State with 18 local government areas. To the glory of God, the state has continued to boast of numerous sons and daughters that have excelled in their various fields of human endeavors, namely medicine, politics, the military, entertainment, sports, bureaucracy, human rights activism, law, academics, business, journalism, etc. Ondo State and its citizens have in no small measure contributed to national development. For example, looking at the winners of the National Merit Award, one can say with pride that out of 60 award winners since the inception of that award, 11 Ondo State indigenes have been recipients. This award is perhaps one of the awards that are yet to be politicized in Nigeria. It is based on merit. As of today, Professor Sylvester Adegoke, Professor Ifedayo Oladapo, Dr. Soji Oluwole, Professor Abiodun Francis Oluwole, Professor Ladipo Akinkugbe, Dr. Akinola Aguda, Professor Tolu Odugbemi, Professor Jacob Olupono, Dr. Ebenezer Meshida, Professor Mrs. Paulina Adebusoye, and Professor Ladipo Adamolekun, all proud indigenes of Ondo State, have been recipients of the National Merit Award. It is therefore evident that in terms of quality manpower development in Nigeria, our dear state tops the rank. Similarly, the state has played crucial roles, especially in the areas of education and democratic development. It is on record that we provided a veritable platform for the launch and spread of free education in the Western region, thus helping to establish the easiest way to escape from poverty, not only to the Yoruba race, but the entire landscape of Nigeria. Ondo State is also well known for supporting progressive ideals at all times, as the state has forever remained the haven, or better still, the de facto home of progressive groups that champion the reinstatement of democracy in Nigeria, namely Afenifere and Nadeco. The economy of Ondo State, one of the fairly large ones in the country, is complemented by many kilometers of coastline. Basically agrarian, it is well known for large-scale production of food and cash crop. The state has intensified efforts to catalyze industrial resurgence by building a 30 megawatt independent power plant, which is nearing completion. This is to improve power supply substantially to industrial and commercial initiatives and propel anticipated economic activities to unprecedented level in the coming years. In Nigeria, Ondo State has a high number of well-structured public schools, including 4 state-owned tertiary institutions. Noteworthy is the construction of the world-class mega primary school across the 3 senatorial districts. Our state polytechnic ranks among the best in Nigeria, both in terms of academic performance and infrastructure. Similarly, one of our state universities, the Adekunle Ajasin University at Kungbe Akoko, has been severally adjudged the best state university in Nigeria. Also, the Ondo State University of Science and Technology Okitipupa is widely celebrated for its entrepreneurial programs. Recently, we established the University of Medical Sciences in Ondo, the first in the history of Nigeria, and one of the best in terms of the ratio of students to available medical facility. The present administration has kept faith with the promise to work for the people of Ondo State. Today, Ondo State is not only a global benchmark in a couple of initiatives. The diligent and sincere implementation of our program has attracted the commendation of statesmen throughout the nation and even across political divides, and elicited public acknowledgement of our modest achievements. Some of these initiatives include, but not limited to, the Abreye Safe Motherhood Initiative, Mother and Child Hospitals, Trauma and Surgical Center, Kidney Care Center, Urban Renewal Programs, Modern Neighborhood Markets, Ultra-Modern Automat, Water Supply Scheme, Housing Estate, School Free Shuttle Scheme, and the emplacement of over 600 community-driven projects. The state now has an international event center, otherwise known as the Dome, which is fast becoming the signature of all eyes. I wish to salute all my illustrious predecessors, namely Ita David Ipere, Esijoromi Toyo, Adekunle Ajashin, Bamidele Otiko, Mike Ahigbe, Ekundayo Opaleye, Olabode George, Abiodun Olukoya, Bamidele Olumilua, Mike Ture, Ahmed Usman, Anthony Oyarebulem, Moses Fasanya, Adebayo Adefarati, and Olusegun Agagu for a job truly well done. They built an enduring legacy and left a burning and bright torch that I am proud to hold aloft. Given the vicissitudes of fortune that Ondo State has witnessed in its 40-year existence so far, I believe, like many indigenes of the state, that we have done well. We have not only benchmark programs and projects for other states in the health sector, urban renewal, education, wealth creation, and other sectors. We have succeeded in making Ondo State an unfolding destination of choice for entertainment and medical tourism. We have in place programs and instituted policies that the future generation will applaud, and we have laid an irreversible path to progress in Ondo State. With all sense of humility, we are witnesses to the fact that we have recorded a lot of changes since 40 years ago, and that together we have posted great accomplishments. Therefore, as we regard the past with nostalgia and a sense of accomplishment, we must look forward to the future and the challenges it brings with hope, enthusiasm, and the expectation that the future will be brighter and more fulfilling. Notwithstanding the current challenges confronting our country, such as falling oil price, high unemployment rate, infrastructure deficit, we must never give in to despondency or fault finding. Instead, we must reinvent our resilience, industry, innovativeness, and ingenuity in order to overcome the prevailing challenges and build a richer and better future. It is the unbounding duty of this generation of Ondo State indigenes and residents to bequeath to future generations a society that works and thrives, a society that compares favorably with its contemporary communities across the globe. My good people of Ondo State, I identify with you in this period of relative hardship occasioned by a dip in our national economy. I empathize with you on some of the privations of life caused by irregularities in salaries and delays in emoluments. And I am aware of the causal linkages to the state's economy. Rather than a feeling of despondency, I exhort every one of us to have an unshaken confidence in God's benevolence and be sure that the sacrifice of today will surely herald a better tomorrow. Let us continue to dream big. Let us continue to work with imagination and creativity. Our future is assured, but the work must continue. Like I said at my second inauguration address to you on the 24th of February 2013, quote, that our job is not finished until every child has access to quality education in a 21st century environment that is deliberately structured to bridge the global digital divide and take our children to the cyberspace where information and knowledge now reside. Until our people have unfettered access to affordable quality healthcare services, especially the vulnerable group, pregnant women, infants, and aged. Until there is food security in every home, and that every child is guaranteed access to nutritious food for maximum development of their inherent cerebral power. Until every youth is usefully engaged and able to generate wealth for self-fulfillment and the collective good of our society. Until we are able to leverage on our God-given resources to create a conducive environment for business and industries to thrive. Until our cities, suburban communities, and villages are well organized, clean, and functional, making them conducive to optimal work and play, and our sandy shores become true tourist havens. And until our dear country, Nigeria, becomes a secure and developed member of the global community along the principles and practice of true federalism. My sincere appeal to all and sundry is to join hands with us to sustain our efforts in building and continuing to build a place of pride. My dear people of Ondo State, I wish you all happy 40th anniversary. Thank you. God bless you all.